Hello and welcome everyone, this is Movies Explained and today I am going to explain to you a sci-fi thriller called Vivarium. Sit back, relax and enjoy this movie. Everyone wants to live in a nice neighborhood without annoying people living next door. When receiving the chance to take a look at a newly built community, which in addition, is very looked after and only a few selected people are fortunate to be able to live there, would you take the chance? If you finish this video, I will show you why you should probably stay away from this, or at least be careful when doing it. You never know what might happen. Let's get into the movie. We are introduced to one of the main characters named Gemma, who works as a school teacher. This particular day she is teaching her students how to be trees to educate them about our environment. When going outside, Gemma spots a kid named Molly who has spotted a dead bird laying on the ground. Molly is upset and wonders why nature could be so horrible. Gemma soothes her by explaining that nature is not always horrible, only sometimes. We are now introduced to Gemma's husband, Tom, who pretends that he is a tree, subsequently making fun of her by talking to her from a ladder which he is standing on. Gemma responds by kicking it. Together they bury the dead baby birds and in a mocking manner, sing prayers as a burial ceremony. After the burial they drive away together in their car. But first Tom tightened the ladder to the roof of the car. On their way home they stop by a real estate agency with the intention of looking for a new house. The real estate agent is named Martin and is acting very strange by not responding to their questions and begins talking about the houses they offer. Even though Tom and Gemma only wanted to look around. The agency sells houses in a community called Yonder. Gemma asks where the community is located, to which Martin says that it's near enough but far enough at the same time. Martin asks if they'd like to see the area. Martin asks them if they would like to see the house. Tom expresses his distrust in Martin, but after some discussion, they agree to have a look at the house. On their trip to Yonder, Tom and Gemma drives together singing along to songs on the radio. When arriving in the community they are overwhelmed by the view of mint green, identical houses stretching along every road and through every intersection they go through. On the sidewalk there seems to be perfectly placed trees with the exact same space between each. When Gemma and Tom comes to the house which they were supposed to look at, Martin is already there with his large, creepy smile. Martin welcomes them to Yonder and tells them that the house they are looking at is number 9. When they enter the house you can see the walls have the same color as the house has, and there is a painting of the house hanging on the wall. In the kitchen Martin gives them a gift basket containing of a bottle of champagne and strawberries. The upstairs room has room for a baby boy. Martin says that the community is the perfect environment for children and asks if Tom and Gemma have children, to which Gemma responds no, not yet. Instead of answering to what Gemma said, Martin goes to the next room, the master bedroom. He sits down on the bed and then stands up again and walks outside, seeming upset by something. They walk down the stairs and out back of the house. Martin, instead of following them outside, goes back inside. Tom and Gemma looks at the backside for a minute and then Gemma asks when the others are due to move in. But Martin isn't there anymore. They go look for him inside but get no response. They walk out the front door and sees that Martin's car is gone. Tom suggests that they should leave immediately, which they do. Gemma says she knows the way out of Yonder, but Tom thinks they are driving the wrong way. When houses look identical to one another there is no way of having any landmarks to remember when navigating back. After driving for a bit Tom notices that they just passed number 9 again, the house they looked at before. They are both creeped out by the fact that they have driven in a circle when they clearly didn't do that. When driving for just another minute they pass number 9 yet again. When sitting in the passenger seat, Gemma pulls up her phone and notices that she does not have any signal. She asks Tom to look at his phone but he does not have any either. They have driven all day trying to find their way out. And finally the car runs out of gas. They step out of the car and they are parked right outside of number 9. Gemma tried to yell for help but the only response she gets is the echo of her own voice. They sleep in the house that night. When trying to fall asleep Gemma says to Tom that she has never heard such silence. The next day they take the ladder of the roof of the car and Tom uses it to climb the roof of the house. What he sees is nothing else but terrifying. He sees the same houses as far as you are able to see. And the cloud seems to be in a fixed pattern which should not be possible. Gemma asks what Tom sees, but he is at a loss for words. He is distressed and suggests that they follow the sun or jump fences to get out. They jump fences all that day and finally finds a house with lights on. But as it turns out, that is number 9 again. But now there is a package of necessities for survival outside packed with food, water and toothbrushes. Tom lights the cardboard on fire to burn down the house as a smoke signal. Together they watch the house burn down. They fall asleep on the curb outside. And when they wake up, there is another package waiting for them, but this time it's a baby inside. It is now apparent that who or what is in charge of yonder does not want them to leave but instead live there and raise a family. When they stand together looking at the baby, some winds blow by and removes the smoke and ashes in front of the house. The house that was clearly burned down yesterday is now back as if it never happened. 98 days have gone by and the kid has grown up faster than normal. He stands in front of their bed and imitates their movements and then their arguments about how they ended up there with an almost perfect voice. Then the kid wants to be measured. After the measurement, the kid steps away and we see that he is growing taller by the day. He has even learned how to speak perfect formal English. Then, suddenly the kid begins to scream loudly until they pour him breakfast cereals. They sit outside with the trash on the street waiting for someone to come pick it up. Tom is ready with a pickaxe to hurt whoever comes. Tom lights an already used cigarette, smokes it, throws it at the boy, and when it falls to the ground the grass around it goes away instantly. Tom is surprised by this and tries to dig down with his pickaxe. After one hit to the ground he finds out that here is no dirt below. They continue digging together, but when they didn't watch, the box of trash disappeared. At night Tom and Gemma make love, but what they don't realize is that the kid is creeping on them through the almost closed door. That night, the kid goes to turn on the TV. But there are no regular channels. The only thing to see is some black and white cracking pattern moving inwards and then repeating itself with some creepy noise in the background. The kid sits in front of it and watches closely. While the kid watches TV, Gemma and Tom sits in the car because that is the only normal they have left. Tom accidentally starts the radio, which turns on. They realize that the car still has battery and they begin dancing in the headlights while the music plays. The kid comes out to them and joins in on the dancing. The kid puts his leg out and trips Tom, who falls and hits his head on the curb. Obviously mad at the kid, Tom picks him up and throws him to the ground. But the kid stands up and continues dancing. The next morning the kid come in to wake them up by screaming as usual. They eat breakfast in the same manners and then Tom goes out to dig again. This day Tom hears something when he is digging. He continues all day and during the night that sound is all he can hear. He wakes up and goes downstairs to find the kid watching the TV again. When they turn it off the kid turns it on again. Stubborn and turns it on again and they leave. The next morning the kid continues screaming till he gets his breakfast. But that day Tom had enough. He takes the bowl of cereal and throws it at the wall. He takes the kid outside and puts him in the car and locks it. Gemma is upset by this and wants to let the kid out, but Tom is persistent and wants to let the kid starve to death. Gemma and Tom discuss what is going to happen if they leave the kid there to die. Will whoever gave them the kid come or will they not? Tom hopes that if the kid dies, they will let them go. But Gemma, who has some empathy, does not want that and takes the keys and let the kid out. We can tell by how Tom acted that he is beginning to lose it. He's clearly struggling to keep sane. The only thing he does during the day is digging while the kid keeps on screaming. No wonder why he has a hard time holding on to himself. Gemma sits with the kid and tells him to go asleep and have a dream, but the kid does not know what a dream is, as you need memories to dream. Gemma explains to the kid what a dream is and tells him to try it. This happens while Tom is outside digging. Gemma sleeps next to the kid that night, and Tom sleeps in his hole. The next day Tom eats alone and Gemma and the kid is outside laying on the lawn, looking to the sky and bonding together. They are looking at clouds and see that all clouds look the same. Gemma explained to the kid that where she comes from cloud look different. Then she begins to bark, showing us that her sanity is not doing too well, just like Tom's. Gemma goes into the kid's room and notices that he isn't there. She looks for him in the house but can't find him anywhere. She asks Tom if he has seen him, but he hasn't, as he keeps on digging. Gemma goes looking for him in the streets. After looking for him but couldn't find him, she returns, only to find the kid standing on their lawn with a book. That night, Gemma takes the book and reads it. It has weird characters from some kind of alien language. The pictures in the book are the same as on the TV. There are also pictures of humans. Gemma asks the kid what he was doing and he says he was solving the mystery. He also said that he met some people but was not allowed to say who they are. Gemma and the kid plays pretend in an attempt to make him pretend to be those he met that day. When he does, his eyes roll back, he begins to sound like a monster and some kind of bubbles form on his neck and they seem to be breathing. Gemma is obviously scared by this and screams that she wants to go home. The kid says to her that she already is home. Some more time has passed and the kid seems to have grown up and has become an adult. They no longer eat with him, but instead in their room out of fear. Gemma asks herself why she didn't let Tom kill the kid when he was young. Tom comforts her and tells her it's because she is a good person. But this will turn out to be the greatest mistake ever. Gemma helps clean Tom, who has many visible bruises from all his work digging. The kid, who is now an adult, but will still be referred to as the kid, walks off with the book, but this time Gemma follows him. She tries to find him but appears to have lost him and gotten stuck in the maze of identical houses. Tom kept on digging, but this time he finally found something. That something appears to be a body inside of some kind of bag. This frightens him as he climbs up. Gemma is still out looking for the kid but couldn't find him. Now she is lost as screams for Tom. Tom can hear her and screams back. Gemma finds her way back and finds Tom laying on the curb. When trying to get into the house, it's locked. They can see the kid through the window watching TV. He does not open, so they sleep in their car. In the morning the kid goes out again with the book. Gemma begs him to help Tom as he is very sick from breathing in all the dust and other gases when digging. The kids say that it might be time for him to be released and then walks off. They sit together on the sidewalk talking. Gemma lights Tom's cigarette as he is too weak to do it himself. They talk about the first time they met. How awkward Tom was in the beginning and how he never had the guts to talk to Gemma. They have a very touching moment talking with each other, and in the end, Tom passes away in Gemma's arms. The kid comes back later that night with another box, and that box contains a body bag for Tom, which the kid puts him in. Gemma is devastated by this, but the kid shows no feelings. He throws Tom into his own hole and then went inside. Gemma slept in the car that night, and the next day when the kid goes out she rushes him with a pickaxe and slams it to his head from behind. The kid lets of a monstrous screeching sound and runs over to the sidewalk, which he picks up with his non-human strength. He goes under the curb, which Gemma follows him through. There we can see a distorted replica of their house. Gemma slides as the floor is tilting. There is a red light over them. The room she slid into has the kid as a kid watching TV. When entering the kitchen she sees another woman crying by the table. Then Gemma begins to sink through the floor and falls into another room of a couple making love. She is dragged through the wall and appears in the shower, where she finds a man who has committed not alive in the bathtub. This scares her, so she stumbles out and falls down the stairs. And there, everything seems to be normal again. The hole in the car is still there. She lays down screaming. The next scene shows Gemma asking what she is in all this. The kid explains that a mother's job is to prepare the kid for the world. She asks what happens after. The kid says, "You die," as he closes her body bag, pulls her down the stairs, outside, and throws her in the hole with Tom. Then he fills the hole in again. The kid refuels their car and drives away with it to the same song as Tom and Gemma entered with. The kid arrives at the same real estate firm as they got their house from. There we see Martin dying in his chair while the kid takes Martin's name badge and puts it on himself. He takes a body bag from the drawer and puts Martin inside it. He folds the body bag and throws it down some kind of garbage disposal. The movie ends with the kid sitting in the chair when a couple walks in looking for a house and the process repeats. Hello again, thanks a lot if you made it through the whole video, it really means much. If you enjoy this type of content, feel free to subscribe and like the video to be notified when future videos come out. Until next time, have a good one.